This morning in Moscow, a senior Russian general was assassinated. Is this a harbinger of further political assassinations by Ukraine of leading Russian war criminals or accused war criminals going forward, especially before the inauguration of Donald Trump, which will happen in about a month's time? Привit, my name is Connor Kleiman, expert in international relations. I've lived for many years in Ukraine, speak both Ukrainian and Russian. So I'm here to give you a more informed, nuanced, and unique perspective on the happenings of the Russo-Ukrainian war. So the BBC is reporting, along with Ukrainian media, that the Ukrainian security services, the SBU, have claimed responsibility for this morning's assassination of Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov in Moscow. It seems from reports on the ground that the explosive device was located in an electric scooter near the entrance to the building where Kirillov and his assistant were leaving from. They are both reported dead. He was the head of Russia's radiation, chemical, and biological protection troops, which sounds like something that's quite defensive about protecting troops, but in fact, he is accused, or was accused because now he's deceased, by the Ukrainians of orchestrating the use of chemical weapons, banned chemical weapons in Ukraine, along with other alleged war crimes. He'd actually already been charged in absentia, and he was sanctioned by the United Kingdom. So what can we tell about this? Well, first of all, the SBU, assuming it's true that they were the ones responsible, they are claiming it. They are now clearly capable of targeted political assassinations of senior Russian military figures and potentially political figures in the capital of Russia, Moscow. And that list of Russians who are charged in absentia may now start to read as a potential assassination list. Any other people who are on that list of alleged war criminals probably would want to be looking at increasing their security in Russia because, well, that's the kind of precedent that has been set this morning, assuming that really the Ukrainians conducted the assassination, and considering they have a big incentive and the potential means to do so, it would seem very likely that they have indeed achieved that. Now, Russia, going forward, they are waiting to a certain extent on the inauguration of Donald Trump. It is hard for them to make big strategic moves before then because they will want to see how Donald Trump is actually going to handle Russia and Ukraine and the Russo-Ukrainian war. From Russia's point of view, they will be optimistic based on what Donald Trump has said in his campaign to become American president once again, his successful campaign, that he wants a quick end to the fighting, that having communicated that puts him in a weaker position vis-a-vis Russia and actually vis-a-vis Ukraine, because they know that he wants a quick solution, not necessarily a long-lasting, better or more just solution. And Russia has an interest in seeing what he will offer to them, basically, or force Ukraine to offer to Russia in order for stopping the hostilities. Russia, as I've said in other videos, is burning through its materiel, Soviet-era stocks, its manpower, the voluntary soldiers, and the certain number that they have conscripted, and their money, their economy is in real danger of maybe not entirely collapsing in 2025, but it will certainly hit real severe problems. All the indicators like that. We've had a huge drop in the ruble and huge inflation and pretty much economic stagnation, even though it's been driven by what's known as military Keynesianism. That is, they were pumping a lot of money into the war effort. They are on a war footing, as they say. However, you can't do that for very long without really depleting your supplies of money. Their slush fund, their foreign reserves, everything is starting to decrease. So we will see that in 2025. They really need a way to stop the fighting and rebuild their military. So in the meantime, what is Ukraine thinking of? I actually had thought that they would target senior Russian leaders like Kirillov, even though I wasn't so aware of him. Apparently he was known for making outlandish public statements about Ukraine, including kind of biolabs and mosquitoes that were going to target Russians that the Ukrainians were allegedly developing, seems pretty mad. The idea to me that you'd be able to target a Russian and not be the same mosquito wouldn't target a Ukrainian or another ethnicity. I don't really know how that was supposed to work. So he is one of many Russian military and potential political leaders that Ukraine may now decide to assassinate. This will further weaken resolve within the Russian leadership and the elite. They will see a higher cost if more and more of them are assassinated. And Russia's scope for retaliation or for escalation is pretty limited. They are more or less doing everything that they can do with respect to attacking Ukraine, short of using nuclear weapons, of which there is a very, very low probability of Russia using, primarily because it wouldn't actually benefit them in reality, and also China would be quite upset with them, and they are a significant ally of Russia. So I would expect to see more and more of these political assassinations going forward, especially in the run-up to Donald Trump's inauguration, before potentially there would be some sort of cessation of hostilities. I am very pessimistic that we would see that. I think it is very unlikely that we will see a cessation of hostilities by both sides that would be of any significant duration, much less that there would actually be some significant peace deal at this point. I think actually later, towards the end of 2025, especially if Russia really does start to run out of resources for the war, then that would seem a more opportune time for some sort of negotiations. So just bringing you this breaking news in today's video, and tomorrow we'll be back with another one. So, do побачення, as is written here, Slava Ukraini, and see you in the next video.